Check it out. Vince Young produced exactly 100 yards of total offense this week. Total, by which I mean he had 78 passing yards and 22 rushing yards. Combined, he produced a touchdown, an interception, 11 completions, 11 rushes, meaning he only averaged 2 yards a carry, which for a quarterback of his style is fairly pathetic. He did not play well again, but the Titans continue to win. This happens so much with Vince Young, and he plays poorly, and the Titans still win. And I'm not trying to hate on Vince Young. I like the kid. I just don't think he's quite there yet. And he seems to be the benefactor of a team that keeps winning almost in spite of him. I mean, Chris Brown ran for 175 yards against this Jacksonville defense. Nobody in any corner of this world could have ever seen that coming against the Jacksonville defense. And his longest run was 42 yards, so it's not as if he had two fluke 90-yard runs or something like that. So, I don't know what to say. I could not believe this game. Everything was just so weird. Um, you know, the Tennessee offense was just dead in the water, and somehow they still managed to pull out a win. The Jacksonville side, very weird. Jack Del Rio is not regretting cutting Byron Leftwich yet. Garrard was 17 of 30 for 204 yards and a touchdown, and also scrambled pretty well for himself, 24 yards on 5 attempts, and that's solid. It's not, I wouldn't brag about it. That's not what lost them the game. Here's the weird stat of the week. Maurice Jones-Drew, 7 attempts, 32 yards, and 23 of those came on one run. Fred Taylor, 6 runs, 16 yards, all of which came on one run. His longest run was 17 yards. I mean, I love this rushing tandem. I love Mojo and I love Freddie. I mean, teamed up, they combined to form one of the most dominant backfields in all the NFL. And, we saw some life out of the receivers. Dennis Northcutt, Mercedes Lewis. These are guys Jacksonville was depending on to be top targets in their offense, and today they looked a little bit like it. But the running game was so dead, which I find so hard to believe. I mean, you got one of the best run defenses in the league getting shredded by a practical no-name. Meanwhile, one of the weakest defenses as a whole in the league completely annihilates Mojo and Freddie. I just don't know what to say. 13-10 win by Tennessee, in case you didn't know. The good news for Jacksonville, Reggie Nelson is looking like a nice pick. Some people say at this point they should have taken Brady Quinn. Well, 7 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble in his first career NFL game. I'll take it. And Rasheed Mathis with another interception, a guy I really like, and I really think he's going to be heading to great things in this league, but they can't help but get a little snowed over by the fact that the Jaguars somehow lost. And Vince Young, in spite of poor play, gets bailed out by his running game and defense again. Again, I'm not hating on Vince, but but really so far in his NFL career, he's been nothing but lucky. I picked Jacksonville, and I thought this was kind of my picks, but that just goes to show you how the NFL can work sometimes, and why I really hate picking games with Jacksonville in it, and why I would never bet money on any game with Jacksonville. This is what they do. They can't beat the crappy teams, but they might beat really good ones. And it's just really maddening. I don't know much of what else to say, except, you have to question now, how good is Maurice Jones-Drew? Maybe teams just weren't ready for him last year, and now that they are, even a crappy run defense can stop him. And in fairness, maybe the Titans' run defense is better than we think. We'll see. But, weird game, man.